All right, I want to get to this quickly because we're inside now of a 2-minute warning, the White House briefing, and we want to talk about one of the issues that may come up. Authorities were able to track down pretty quickly the government contractor accused of leaking top-secret NSA documents. That suspect, you see her here, arrested less than a week after authorities were tipped off. Let's bring in Morgan Wright, cybersecurity analyst and a senior fellow at the Center for Digital Government. Why were they able to pick up Reality Lee Winner so quickly?
Well, for one thing, she wasn't the smartest spy on the block. I mean, she printed out a document that only 6 people did. On that document, Harris basically was a watermark. It allowed them to trace back to the printer, showing the date and time. And then The Intercept was an unwitting co-conspirator in her capture by publishing the document. So they saw the document. They're able to enhance the document, see the watermark on it. And pretty quickly, and then they searched her computer, found out she'd been in contact with The Intercept. She mailed it from there. So look, this was an easy case. Unfortunately, it was an easy case, but good the fact that they nailed it.
Are we going to see more of these? You know, I was seeing that Michael Moore, that the movie producer, is coming out with something called Trumpy Leaks, and that there are these people out there with information online to train people how to leak material. What is going on with that?
You even have congressmen, members of Congress talking about, hey, if you want to be a whistleblower, disclose classified information, this is how you do it. I was just reading part of that article. Look, we've lost that. Look, 73 years ago was the invasion of Normandy. We depended on absolute secrecy of Operation Overlord and all the things we were doing so that people didn't die as a result of that. Now, from 2010 to 2012, we've lost 18 out of 20 spies in China. They've been executed. These things have a debilitating effect. It may not happen today, Harris, but over time, we start losing the confidence of our allies. And in fact, in that document, there was a designation on there, and it's called the Five Eyes designation. We have Canada, the United Kingdom, Australia, and New Zealand, who are our partners in this. Some of that intelligence in that document may have come from one of our partners, and if this is getting leaked, they won't be sharing the information with us that we may rely on one day to stop an attack on our own soil. You
talk about history, World War II, loose lips sink ships. Yeah, I mean, and that is certainly the lesson to be learned from all of this. I would have to guess, though, that most Americans, when they think about this administration, the Trump administration, trying to make an example of or catch a leaker, most people are concerned about the actual leaks that are coming, classified information in and around the White House.
Look, I can tell you from when I served in law enforcement, served in the military, had the security clearance, it did not matter to people who took their oath seriously if it was a D or an R or an I in office. We didn't care. Your oath was to the Constitution, not to a particular party. I think we're losing some of that, whether it's ideological or whether it's people saying, well, you know, I'm releasing this because I don't believe in what Trump's doing. It's irrelevant what Trump is doing. You took an oath. You need to follow it. And when you don't, you're a traitor. I mean, it's that simple.
So does it matter so much what the document is in this case? I do want to talk about the content there, or is it just the matter of, well, this person's leaking and we caught this person, and what happens to this person?
Well, hopefully there'll be a good investigation. There's already been one. There's been a confession has been reported, so probably there will be a plea, and because you don't want to disclose national security secrets. So the content in the document can be important because it could disclose sources and methods. But if we just go back to the very beginning and say, look, the fact that the document was leaked, regardless of what the content was, never should have happened. We've put in places all of these controls. You and I were just talking during the break about the Snowden effect. We've now got more and more controls over people we're supposed to trust. But because we can't trust everybody, I can trust everybody, just not one particular individual. Now I have to put these controls in place to prevent exactly something. And it didn't prevent it. What it did is it allowed them to minimize the damage and find out the person who leaked this information very quickly. Yeah,
you know, there seems to be some sort of glorification of leaking these days, and it's political. We know that. We saw it previously in the campaign leading up to November 8th. How do we take the temperature down on that on either side of the political aisle? You can't be in favor of WikiLeaks one day and then of this leaker over here. I'm a fan of Mr. Snowden. No, I'm not a fan of Edward Snowden. I mean, we are all over the map when it comes to this. What should be the unified message, and how do we get back there?
Look, politicians used to do what they call an if-by-whiskey speech. If by whiskey you mean the evil liquor that ruins people's lives, then I'm against it. But if you mean the liqueur that, you know, helps soothe your end of the day, then I'm for it. We got to stop this if-by-whiskey stuff. What we have to do is realize you got to start prosecuting people. You have to start creating a significant deterrent, and we got to quit making these people folk heroes. You know, in my opinion, Edward Snowden is not a folk hero. Riley Winner is not a folk hero. These folks have committed crimes against the United States, regardless of what side of the spectrum you're on. on, look at the actions, look at what they did, not through your ideological prism, but through the prism of the safety and security of the United States.
And from the law enforcement perspective, what you're saying today, too, is that we're getting better at catching them. Let's hope we can catch some of those who are leaking classified information out and around this White House, too, because that jeopardizes all of us as well. Morgan Wright, thank you very much.